Welcome to East by West Farms. Here we grow what we eat and eat what we grow. Today I'm going to talk about lessons learned from making salty duck eggs. It has been 42 days since we were making the duck eggs. This is the last batch we have. Through these 42 days, we checked multiple times and then look at the eggs. And we also changed the process once we noticed there's some problems. Since it's 42 days, I think I should give you a close-up of the whole process and talk about the lessons we learned from this process. We actually tried 3 different containers in the process: the pickling jar, the saucepan, the stainless saucepan, and we end up using just plastic bags. The stainless saucepan is definitely a bad idea because the salt actually, even though it's stainless steel, the salt actually react with the stainless steel. And I look at the stainless steel part, and underneath at the bottom I can see some corrosion spot. Don't use a stainless steel pot for making salty duck eggs. The pickling jar, it was a kind of surprise to me that it didn't work very well. I thought that one would work the best. Turns out that there were a few in there was cracked. I don't know whether it's because when I put it in there, I accidentally banged against the wall and then it cracked and then it got bad. Inside the pickling jar actually was quite moist, more moisture than what I wanted. And so I have to abort that kind of in the middle of the process. A few ducks were back, but not the whole pickling jar. We got a few that were still working, and it taste actually was pretty good. Then I found out that the best way actually is just using very sturdy plastic bag, and then kind of twisted the clothing and then put a rubber band to make it airtight, and that seems to be the best way to go. The second thing I want to talk about is the medium you use to get the salt into the duck eggs. The most common one is using salty water as the brine, or you can wrap the eggs in salt. And then the third one is to actually put the salt in clay and then coat the ducks with that. The most common one probably is to brine, is that you submerge the salty duck eggs in the salty water. It works. The problem with that is that because salt is heavier, and so the water actually tends to be much saltier at the bottom than at the surface. And if you have like a jar, then you will get a different saltiness at a different level. The quality of the eggs will not be consistent. The second method is what I tried first, is to cover this in salt and then roll it. The problem with that is in YouTube and all that, you will cover it with salt and then you wrap it in plastic to keep the salt in place. I didn't want to do that because that's a lot of waste on plastic. So what I did was just rolling on it and then put them on top of each other. I think I made 2 mistakes. One is that the salt was too coarse. I should use a much finer salt. Another thing is I tried to skip the plastic. After 14 days, I tasted the egg. This egg was not salty at all. I will show you the method I think works the best is the one that coat the egg with clay. So this is what the eggs look like. You can see that it still have lots of clays on there. This clay, of course, is sterilized. We boiled it with hot water and then mix with salt and then coat the eggs with it and then put it in this plastic bag, seal it. It's a little bit messy, so before I cook it, I need to wash the clay off. And we have this very sticky clay here, so it takes some rubbing to get it off. I got 7 eggs and I fit with this small pot nicely. The eggs looks pretty good, so I'm going to boil it and check to see whether how does the yolk look like before I process the rest of the eggs. The eggs are boiled, and let's open up and see how it goes. To open that, I just use a knife, poke a hole. That's what it looks like inside. You can see that it's different from regular eggs, and it looks very starchy and it's very nutty, but it doesn't have a whole lot of oil yet. And I noticed that when you leave it out for some time, like in the refrigerator for some time, it actually gets more oily. This is what the inside of the egg look like. You can see that the yolk is different from regular duck eggs. I tasted a little bit. It's actually tastes very nutty, and I can see that the oil start to come out. If I can leave it a little bit longer, maybe it will be better. But since we have changed the process middle way, I don't want to risk it. Probably I will just do another batch with the clay and leave it longer. This is 42 days, and then 14 days the salt was not enough. And this is after 28 days of the real salting process. If I compare these two, I can see that this one probably had less salt in there, and so the salt is not very even. Well, this one I don't want it because it has a red spot in there. So this is probably bad. This is definitely something that I will not eat. I will not even feed it to the chicken. I put it in the compost and let the bacteria eat it. There could be 2 reasons. One is that we didn't have time to process the eggs, so some of the eggs was on the shelf for a while, so they were like maybe start to getting bad already. And also the first 14 days we didn't have enough salt. Yeah, this is old. This actually had enough salt, but it might be too long. Sometimes it just happens when you make your own processed food that sometimes things just go bad. You need to know how to detect them. Well, surprisingly, this one is good. Okay. That's what a really good salty duck egg should look like. You can see that the yolk is very much jelly-like, and it has the kind of oils almost. It has oil almost like oozing out, and that's what it is supposed to be. That's what we got. You can see that the yolk looks a little bit different, so there are some variability among the eggs. This is the best one. This is probably not need more time. Since we kind of changed the process in a way, we will stop the process over here. In this video, I showed you the result of our 42 days journey on making salty duck eggs. We learned quite a few things, and I think the next batch will be much better. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumb up. If you have any questions or comments, please leave it down below. If you have not done so, please hit the subscribe button to follow our journey with the East by West Farms.